All right, guys, so we got some breaking news here, and the breaking news is that Shane Waldron is going to be the Bears head coach. And I know you guys might get dizzy doing this. You guys might get really dizzy watching this video, but a man's got to do what he's got to do, and you got to record breaking news when breaking news happens. So, Shane Waldron going to Chi-Town, the Bears, as an offensive coordinator. Now, is Shane Waldron going to be the coach for Justin Fields? That's what I'm kind of having trouble thinking about. Is Shane Waldron going to be the head coach or going to be the assistant coach for Justin Fields, going to be the offensive coordinator? I think it's possible. Now, Waldron comes from the Sean McVay tree. He was there in Los Angeles with Jared Goff, I believe, several years. I don't know if he overlapped with Stafford, but then he's done a great job with not only Russell Wilson, but really Geno Smith. He's helped Geno Smith experience his best years. So with Justin Fields, you want to incorporate a lot of, running into the offense, a lot of QB draw, a lot of QB run game. The Bears also need to draft a running back. Khalil Herbert is constantly hurt. Roschon Johnson is somebody that, didn't see the field a lot, was also injured, didn't have consistent workload as a running back, but somebody that can grow. So Roschon is probably going to be the starting running back, and then they're going to be drafting somebody. Maybe you get the kid out of USC to maybe be your running back. But for the Chicago Bears, this is what you have to think about. Who's going to be a scheme fit with Shane Waldron? I think that Shane Waldron is kind of a strict coach. I think that he's not aggressive enough. He runs the football a heck of a lot. He's not aggressive enough in the passing game, and he really likes playing a controlled style. I mean, Dave Canales and the Tampa Bay Bucks, they played that control, don't turn the ball over, West Coast offense style with Baker Mayfield, find high percentage completion. So I think Shane Waldron's a bright guy. I think he's smart. In terms of him being a rah-rah guy, he's not a rah-rah type of leadership guy. He's more of a cerebral type of coach. Again, you could be both, but that's why he hasn't really gotten head coaching offers, is because he's not that eccentric. He's not going to just walk into a room and everybody's not just going to, bend over backwards and say, oh my gosh, there's Shane Waldron. Like Kevin O'Connell walks into a room and everybody gasps at how incredible and how personal Kevin O'Connell is. Like Sean McVay brings that juice. Mike Tomlin owns it. Dan Campbell. So there's certain coaches that step into a room and you're like, wow, let's go. Shane Waldron's going to be somebody that's going to take criticism, doesn't take a ton of deep shots. He's somebody in Seattle that a lot of fans would tell you that the offense could have opened up more with DK Metcalf, could have opened up more with several of their pieces, but he didn't do a terrible job. He did a really decent job of getting Geno Smith to play under control good football, but it wasn't otherworldly offense. And there, you could argue the wide receiver core with Jackson Smith and Jigba, with Jake Bobo, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, that they should have been getting even more out of that offense. I'm curious now to see, because Caleb Williams, I don't think he's going to love playing in this West Coast kind of conservative offense, unless you're going to have Shane Waldron for a couple of years and then you're going to bounce Shane Waldron into a more explosive, eccentric, like Cliff Kingsbury style, all right? If you were going to have Kellen Moore or a Cliff Kingsbury or an air-it-out type of offensive coordinator, somebody from the Doug Peterson tree, the Andy Reid tree, the Eric Bieniemy tree, that would make a lot of sense for Caleb Williams to go to. But this is a type of ball control, run the football, play action, shot offense, which is what Drew Lock was used to. So I'm curious to see Geno Smith, it might not be long for Seattle, and Drew Lock might not be long for, well, Drew Lock's a free agent, so Drew Lock could be also going to Chicago. Drake May would do pretty well in this offense because Drake May is more of a play-action pass guy that kind of relies on several, other things to help occur in terms of like running game and such. So what do you guys think about this? It could be Drake May. They could all be trading their pieces back. They could get Drew Lock as a depth piece, or Drew Lock could be the starter there, and you could absolutely load your roster. That actually again, I'm a huge Drew Lock fan. I think Drew Lock can be really, really good. I know that people are going to scoff at that and roll their eyes and say, you lost any credibility you may have had. But could Drew Lock maybe be the guy in Chicago? Nobody thought that Geno would be the guy in Seattle. No one thought that Baker Mayfield would be a guy in Tampa Bay. What are you going to do? Or you could stick with Justin. Could run a lot of, stretch run. You could go out there and draft a Marvin Harrison. Or if you could trade back and get pieces and get Malik Neighbors or Joe Alt, I would do that as well. But this is a very monumental move because it shows you the prohibitive favorite at number one is Caleb Williams. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks to come out in quite a while. And now what you're seeing now is that this would be an odd scheme fit. So it looks like Caleb Williams in Chicago, it looks like that may be losing steam. And that's the real news of today. That is the big, grandiose, big headline. But the underlying headline is that Shane Waldron is a decent offensive coordinator. But I don't know if he's going to be there long term. I don't know if he's the long-term fit. I think he could get you from point C to point B, but I don't think he could take you from point D to point A. Like a Ben Johnson or an absolute rock star or Todd Monken. It's unfortunate, guys, because when you hit those guys that take you from point D to point A, when you land an absolute rock star, when you get behind the wheel of a car and it's an absolute race car, that race car is ultimately bought out, just like Ben Johnson's going to be bought out, just like Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon were bought out. So that's kind of what's happening now in Chi-Town right now.